Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Coffee and Cannoli podcast. Joined by these two once again. I got Campo up on this side, and I got Putty up on this side. Right? Say hello, everyone.
Hi. I pat you on the head, but your head's like too far away. I feel like I'm giant up here. Like, oh.
Is Putty on the bottom?
No, I'm on the bottom.
Put himself on the bottom.
Yeah, I threw myself on the bottom this time. So with the release of Spider-Man No Way Home not that long ago, we decided to do our favorite Spider-Man games of all time. We're going to do our top 5, some honorable mentions, and talk all things Spider-Man in this episode. So with that out of the way, Buddy.
Oh, me?
You go first today.
Okay. So my number 5 is the only cap, and that is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Shattered
Dimensions.
It's me already?
Yeah.
All right. I got to move these tiles around. My number 5 is Spiderman, Miles Morales.
My number 5 is Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
Putty.
My number 4 is Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage.
My number 4 is Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage on the Genesis. Because guess why?
Genesis does what Nintendo don't. My number 4 is actually capped because these two games kind of go hand in hand, and that's Spider-Man Web of Shadows and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Putty.
My number 3 is the Spider-Man 2000 PlayStation 1.
My number 3 is Spider-Man in the dimensions in which they are shattered.
Girded dimensions where Spider-Man crafts his pants
in 5 dimensions at one collision.
My number 3 is Spider-Man 2.
Okay, my number 2 is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
My number 2 is Spider-Man 2.
My number 2 is Spider-Man on the PS4 / Miles Morales because that's pretty much one game. At least to me.
I thought about it, but I didn't.
Yeah, so I'm my number 1 now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is Marvel Spider-Man, the PS4, now PS5. I've got that version now, but yeah, that's
Spider-Man. See, my number 1 is different. My number 1 is Spider-Man by Insomniac Games.
That's the same one, you dork.
Whereas my number 1 is actually capped with Spider-Man on the PS1, Spider-Man 2000, and Maximum Carnage on the Genesis.
Maximum Carnage wanted to be higher, but then they made so much more solid games. But that one does. That's why I had to be on a list.
It's on my list out of nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly.
I was originally going to put it at number 5.
I played the hell out of that game. That had to be number 1. That and the Spider-Man on the PS1.
Well, that's my number 1 honorable mention. It's my only honorable mention because I didn't even want to talk about anything else. Is Spider-Man 2000 the PlayStation?
See, I put Ultimate Spider-Man, and I did put Web of Shadows on there from honorable mention, but Ultimate Spider-Man would be my number 1 honorable mention. So
yeah. But for me, my honorable mention, which is a really good game, but not that great of a movie, and it doesn't get enough love, this game, is The Amazing Spider-Man. The movie tie-in.
It's decent.
Yeah.
I figured out there's no point in going all in. You guys are going to bring all the games.
Yeah.
There's about 27 Spider-Man games, I think.
Yeah.
Total.
Only about 10 to 12 of them are good.
The Spider-Man on the Sega Genesis, just Spider-Man. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. Where
I know
basically you spend the whole time in like a warehouse throwing crates around.
Yes, I think that was the 32X one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a point where you're fighting a forklift, and it's so dumb because you're supposed to throw the thing onto the forklift, but like I'm a little kid, I didn't know that. So I would spend hours just dying trying to fight this forklift, not realizing I'm supposed to throw a crate into the
forklift forks. Oh my god! It almost harkens back to that X-Men game on the Genesis where you had to fight Mojo, and it says reset the system, and you literally have to reset your Genesis.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Well, I want to bring this up because we had JD, you had put Miles Morales and Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man PS4 version together. And here was where I was conflicted. Okay, so when I started at number 4, like when it came to 5, I just knocked those out of the way because I like those two. But then when it came to like what introduced me to Spider-Man gaming, well, when it came to the side scrolling, the Maximum Carnage was like the ultimate, like speed all end all Spider-Man games at the point. But then you always wanted to be able to web sling around the city. So of course that's when the 2001 introduced us to what that could be. You know what I mean? So then I couldn't decide which one would go between 3 and 4. The reason I didn't want to have put Miles Morales with Marvel Spider-Man, even though they go together, is that Miles Morales is a good game. It's not me downfall. That's why it's number 2. But the first one they did for PlayStation 4 just knocked everything we already knew out of the park. Like, I don't think they can go any better than what that did. Outside
Spider-Man Arkham Asylum, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically.
This is my take on this, and
it's a very good game. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic game. Yeah.
Why did you? The dynamics of both games are different. The stories are very different. I think Miles Morales is an expansion on what the other one was. Exactly. They took what they did well and they made it even better. The problem is it's not really a full game. Yep. Is why I put it at 5.
And that's why I kind of count it as 1, because there's the DLC from Spider-Man that starts off with Miles Morales and it continues the story into Miles Morales. So that's why I just see it as one continuous game.
It is.
Miles Morales is basically.
I would rather have Miles Morales take up a numbered spot on my list than put any other games on it.
Well, the reason I separated it, I agree with you guys on that, but also the original one, the Marvel Spider-Man, did have DLC. Had the Silver Sable, had the Black Cat, had all those as DLC. Yeah. So that's the reason I was like, it was so hard for me. Like, should I bundle this? But I'm like, well, it kind of already has DLC, so it was kind of. It was so.
The Silver Sable one was so bad.
But I know, but I'm
the hammer. I like the Hammerhead one.
Yeah. But do you see what I'm saying? Why I ended up separating them? It's not because if this list was so hard to do, to be honest with you, my top 4, I would want all 4 of those to be number 1 because there was something I loved about all of them. I will say this: once you got to Maximum Carnage, to 2001, Miles Morales, and that, and even Spider-Man 2, like Shattered Dimensions just had something different. Yep. Like all these games, just like these.
They brought back Madam Web for Shattered Dimensions. Like, I'm going to call it Shattered Dimensions from now on.
It's a superior name.
But my point is they all brought something to the table that made them so special that at this point it was so hard for me to make this list, to be honest with you. Like, I wanted to put Maximum Carnage at number 1 because like you said, JD, I spent so much more time. I know I spent more time on that game than I did Marvel Spider-Man, but then the same thing with 2000. I don't know which one I spent more time on because.
Did anyone have a red cartridge?
Yeah,
I had the Genesis red cartridge. Yes,
Genesis one. Yeah, that's the one I had.
I had the
actually looked it up online because I wanted to get the red one again, and then all of a sudden,
good luck.
Online,
it's in there somewhere. Expensive. It's in this closet.
The red one. It's worth a lot of money.
It's in there somewhere.
The red cartridge one is worth a lot of money.
With the original clamshell box, not the paper box, because the paper box had the black cartridge.
Literally, JD, if you need to make some money, I can't remember how much.
No, why would I sell it?
Sega Saturn with all the games.
No, basically. I know. I'm just telling him. I'm just saying
we're gonna rob you. Is what we're saying.
I think only Campo knows where I live, so
I don't even know where you live. So
JD's gonna be suspicious, like Putty knows. Because I want these things. I'm looking at myself to buy them, and I'm like, this is so expensive. You know
I was actually looking into buying a Neo Geo the other day, and it's like $800. I'm like, no thanks.
Neo Geos are really expensive, and the games are really. But Neo Geos, when they were new, were really expensive, and the games were crazy expensive.
Because
they were like this big, weren't they?
Yes, they were huge.
They were like a VHS tape.
Plunk them in, yeah.
And they were expensive back then too. I remember that's the only thing I got for Christmas when Next Thing came out. Like literally, I got that in one game. It was like that's it. Like, do I get anything else? Like, do you know how expensive that was? Like, good Lord.
But going back to what we're saying though, with Putty, you also had Web of Shattered Dimensions. Web of Shards, Shattered Dimensions.
Bitterman Shattered Dimensions.
There was a third one in that trilogy, which was Spider-Man: Edge of Time, and
I did not like it.
And that one was horrible. It left such a bad taste in my mouth that I was looking forward to like finishing that trilogy of games. Because basically it was a kind of a loose trilogy.
Well, here's the thing. Shattered Dimensions. I remember I purchased Web of Shadows. I think I rented and then bought. And I've forgotten the name already. Edge of that one.
Edge of Time, yeah. Not Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. For some reason, I was going to say Tomorrow because I'm thinking of the movie. But anyway,
Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, right. I actually rented that one because I did the same thing with Web of Shadows, and I was so glad I did because I never bought it. I actually never completed that game. I just
Web of Shadows.
Like it. No,
Edge of Time.
Yeah, I never completed it, and I'm glad I didn't because it was just so horrible when I rented it.
Yes, sir.
I didn't like Web of Shadows either.
I was okay with it, but it was a continue. It was like JD said. I was excited.
Web of Shadows was the first, and then it was Sharded Dimensions, and then it was
Sharded Dimensions is great.
Yeah. That's the best one out of the three because you get to play Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man Noir. But every Spider-Man you play as has different aspects of the character. Spider-Man Noir felt a lot like Arkham, where you're like hiding in the shadows and like it's more stealth-based. Spider-Man regular amazing.
Can we just talk about putting on the full Spider-Verse package in Miles Morales and playing in full 4K maximum effort, and it looks like when you're punching in, it has like the cartoony like movement.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I literally got the special edition because apparently I didn't.
Because that's a costume you can unlock for
exactly,
it, right?
And I love it. Oh my god, I love it. That's the only outfit I wear too.
But you actually have to get other things, right? The costume makes you do it, and then you can add things that makes you do the kapow like punch. Like I thought I already had it. Mine already. No, it's like another piece you add on. Like how
it's an upgrade. Perks? It's a gear up. Yeah, it's perk up. It's a perk up. It's a perk upgrade.
I'm pretty sure there's 3 upgrades you could put on, and each one does a different thing.
No, I know they had the upgrades, but I when I first put the outfit, it was doing.
When you put on the outfit, it makes you that Miles Morales, and it makes you move in that like slow motion.
Right. So the game is moving at 60 FPS, but Miles is moving at 24.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But then you the thing you add to it, one gives you like the comic book like punching things.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I
one gives you
put it on the outfit because I put it on and I had that, and
but it doesn't.
Okay,
but it doesn't.
Okay.
But Genesis does.
1 in 10 don't. Good setup.
That was such a great slogan, though. Either way, and then again, Maximum Carnage. Can we talk about LGN actually making a good game and it was
right?
Maximum Carnage, you know.
And the other one, the sequel, a Separation Anxiety.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets about that one too.
Didn't he also make the Venom game? The Venom had his own game on Genesis,
yes.
Didn't he?
Yes, he did. That's right. Venom did have his own game on Genesis.
Well, can I just say that Maximum Carnage also introduced me to Green Jelly? That was what made me look up this music, and I found Green Jelly and became a fan. Like Three Little Pigs. There's just in general Green Jelly. I became a fan.
You're a weird guy.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know.
We'll go listen to some War later.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. I've actually okay. Beavis and Butthead introduced that to me.
War. Anything else, guys? What other? The sequel to the. No, because the sequel to Spider-Man 2000 on the PS1, Enter Electro.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like again.
It was just a rerehash of the first one.
Yeah, you know what game was not good? Actually, Spider-Man, the one based on the movie. Wait, is that 2000?
No.
Yeah, the first Spider-Man.
The first Tobey Maguire one.
The second one is great. Isn't there Spider-Man 3 that was so bad? Why am I remembering that?
Spider-Man 3 was not a good game.
That's the one where absolutely terrible. It stopped letting you have free roam swinging.
It was just as bad as the movie was. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
you couldn't just free swing anywhere.
The mechanics were really, really, really bad. I mean, there was a lot of half decent but not great games like Arcade's Revenge.
Oh, I forgot about Arcade. Yeah, but see, that was one of those things that it felt like, even remember when they were doing the X-Men games, they were trying so hard, but it's like there was hit or misses where it wasn't like the greatest, but I was like, at least I'm getting something to get my comic book. Like Batman was doing way better back then in my eyes than the Marvel side. You know what I mean? DC was doing better actually. Another game
that I put on my honorable mentions that didn't make my list because it's not a Spider-Man game per se was Marvel's Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for example,
in Ultimate Alliance 2, he's like a main character.
He is a main character, but it's not a Spider-Man game.
No.
Because then we can say, like, Avengers, but, like, again, it's not even, because he just got put in.
But no Avengers, one should ever talk about Avengers.
No.
Right.
And he's only available on the PlayStation, so
yeah,
I played it. Yes, I played it on the PC.
I have not played it. I have it, and I don't want to go back to it. I just don't want to reinstall that game.
Go play Guardians of the Galaxy instead.
Exactly. I agree. Yep. That's a
much better game.
Square Enix game.
You never played Guardians yet? Go check it out, Campo. It's a good game.
I play about 17 minutes of video games a day, and it's me turning on Diablo, getting as much EXP as I can, and then turning it off.
Oh my
No,
god,
Campo
the
needs to
Diablo
watch
2
Arcane.
remake is
That's something
so good.
I cannot believe what an amazing game that was. Like,
Yeah.
and I like Diablo 3, but now playing Diablo 2, I fully understand why I couldn't remember what I didn't like about Diablo 3. And Diablo 2 is such an amazing game. It's honestly one of the best games ever made in the history of video games.
Oh, well, this is. I'll talk to you on the side, but Campo, you need to go watch some on Netflix as well. But we're bringing up another thing. So
On Netflix?
there's a show called Arcane that's based on.
Everyone knows that. You're not teaching us
Oh, okay,
something
okay.
new here. It looks stupid as hell.
No,
Let's
it's
move on.
not. It's
Go
really
go watch the Castlevania one instead.
Yeah, go watch Castlevania.
No, Arcane is getting big reviews, like huge. And my cousin told me to watch it. I watched it. This thing's better than anything on Disney Plus or anything I've ever watched. This is amazing. Like Arcane is amazing.
I watched the
first
two
better.
episodes.
I put money
It's
on
not
it.
very
I
good.
put money
I
on
watched
it.
the first 2 episodes. It's not very good.
Okay, watch it to 3 and you'll see why.
No, I'm
you gotta watch
taking
it to 3.
No, I probably won't.
Okay.
I hate that game that it's based on. So.
It doesn't matter. I don't even.
It
know
doesn't
anything
matter.
about
Yes,
it.
it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
Yes, it
well,
does.
whatever. It was an amazing show. It's good.
Thanks. You know what else
Give
is
me
an
an-
amazing show? Castlevania.
Yes, give me an anime based on the Nier series. Then maybe we will talk.
Again, Campo, you stopped at the wrong point. If you get to episode 3, I guarantee you're going to continue on.
Any show that you're telling me I have to make it past a certain point is not worth it.
Okay.
And on that note, anything else, guys, that you want to add?
Yep, that's it.
Go see Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spitterman.
Spider-Man
I know,
No Way
it's the only
Home
way I
is a
just said it.
fantastic movie. If you go over up on Campo's channel over here, we have a review, a non-spoiler review up. And I don't know if it'll be up eventually. We're going to put up a spoiler review too.
We're also going to
I've
be
got my
reviewing
review too, but yeah.
Sharded Dimensions, and
Sharded
we're going to
Dimensions?
be in a bathroom, our own bathroom, reviewing it.
Spider-Man is just sitting on a toilet reading a comic book.
It's Sharded Dimensions.
And the porcelain bowl just cracks into different fragments, and he has to go around.
And then Wanda comes out from the toilet.
Spider-Man sharded.
All right,
dimensions.
we should stop this before it gets out of hand.
Before it gets out of hand. On that note, guys.
Buddy's coming up with ideas.
I'm just sitting here, just like, okay, we've definitely gone off track for sure.
Way off track.
Yep.
So on that note, guys, thanks again for joining me, and we'll see y'all next time.